Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. My name is Jess Trainer. I'm here with my dad, Thom Rainer, and we are continuing on a two-part series where we're looking under the hood of Church Answers. And Dad, just thinking about under the hood, just remind me of all the times that you taught me when you popped open the hood of your vehicles and you taught me how to change the oil and change the air engine filter and timing belts. All those just
Your
amazing
sarcasm is
moments.
dripping so much on your sweater that your sweater is getting wet. Hey, I taught you some things. Okay. I didn't teach you about mechanics, auto mechanics. I didn't teach you how to fish. I didn't teach you how to hunt. I don't know what I did teach you, but that's what we did teach you.
You taught me a lot of leadership, a whole lot of leadership.
And maybe a bit of finance.
A good bit. There's a whole lot you taught. Yeah, but turning a wrench was not one thing that you taught me how to do. And so there, there was no getting under the hood with you.
Now your one line. I'll let you get. You're trying to segue to the whole episode, but your line about looking for tools in our house and what you found.
Oh yeah, I joked that there was one hammer in the house growing up, and it was purple, and it belonged to my mom.
Right.
So I think you did have a toolbox that you inherited. I don't think it was actually yours.
It was mine. It was
Oh,
mine.
it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bought it at Sears because everybody said I needed a toolbox. I just didn't open it.
I used it more than you.
Oh, somebody had to. If you
Yeah.
used it once, you used it more than I did.
I did. I learned how to do a few things around the house. And hey, I overcome a major deficit. I do. I change my own air filters in the vehicles. I change my own
Wow.
batteries. I don't know. I've never done the oil, so I do. I've done light bulbs. So I mean, some guys are probably laughing at me like, okay, yeah, my 6-year-old could do that. But when you understand the deficit I've come from, you guys would applaud me. It's not even a deficit. It's like a negative. I guess that is a deficit. I had to really, teach myself. I had a Home Depot picture book, and that's how I began to do. Do you remember that? The Home Depot picture book?
Home Depot picture book? No.
Yeah, and that's how I learned. I taught myself how to do things around the house. It was before YouTube really came about. So anyway, we're getting under the hood. And under the hood, something though that this guy is pretty knowledgeable about. It's under the hood of Church Answers. And so if you missed our first part, go back and check it out. We kind of gave the history, we did give the history of how Church Answers came about and really talked about some of our other partners that we partner with and why we partner with them. Today we're going to be getting a little bit more specific on what's underneath the hood of Church Answers. Before we do that, we want to thank one of our awesome sponsors and partners for this podcast, and that is Wesley Biblical Seminary. They are a organization that is focused on developing trusted leaders for faithful churches, and they do it by offering biblical education all the way from certificates up to doctoral degrees. And so if you are thinking about, hey, I would love to grow in my biblical education, my biblical training, I'd love to know how I can be better equipped to serve the local church and serve God's kingdom, go check out Wesley Biblical Seminary. Go to their website at wbs.edu, and check them out. They got a really good flexible online format. They will help fit your schedule. They know life's busy, and so they want to do what they can to help you continue growing your biblical education. So check out Wesley Biblical Seminary.
Hey, and Jess, we are entering a partnership with them where Church Answers University will be 9 of the credit hours. I can't remember what their MA is. It's not 36, maybe 37, 38. But anyway, 9 of them will come from Church Answers University, which is very inexpensive and very quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Head start into the MA.
Yeah. So yeah, go if we can help you out, we will. We'll give you a jump start into that degree, and it's a really great pace and affordable rate to get a jump start into your degree. So maybe a master's isn't as far as reach as you think it is. So we'd love to help out. All right, but we're going to continue talking about what does it look like under the hood of Church Answers, and we're going to be focused on this part 2, and we're really going to talk about it's the local church partner grows, and so. Dad, you mentioned that there's a 4-legged stool. I think we're crossing all analogies here, but there's a 4-legged stool. Why don't you talk to us about this 4-legged stool when it comes to Church Answers?
The 4-legged stool was actually the metaphor I used with our first resource.
Okay.
Actually, membership in what is now Church Answer Central, and membership was our first resource, but our first standalone resource, and it was on revitalizing the church. It was, and it was a big one. It lasted many, 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 many hours. I went to a studio. This is such a hoot. I went to a studio, and I did not know that this really cool looking studio didn't have air conditioning when I recorded it in July.
Oof.
And it was bad. It was really bad. And your mom was there, and she said, "You couldn't find a studio with air conditioning." It was just this cool site at this train depot and all that. So what we would have to do is we'd record for 15 minutes, run the air conditioning 15 minutes, record 15 minutes, run the air conditioning. So we tried another site not long after that, and it was not a depot, but it was on a train, by a train track. Didn't know that there was a certain schedule when the train came, so we had to stop and wait for the train to go by. So those are some of the early things that happened. But we recorded our longest and our foundational video, and it was on church revitalization. That was the essence of it. And by the way, church revitalization was hardly known as a term at that point.
Yeah. When
So,
was this?
gosh, yes, I'm going to say that it was 2015, maybe.
Okay.
2016, but it's been more than 10 years ago. We still have that resource. I mean, we still make it available.
So this
But
this was Church Andrew's first video based resource.
absolutely, first
So
video.
again, we're getting under the hood. Like, what if I'm listening to this? Like, what made you think about doing this? Like, what? How did that even come about?
Because I'm an idiot. Um,
Okay.
I didn't think of some of the implications. Um, we did a streaming video course. Okay,
Hmm.
we didn't do DVDs. We had no idea how many pastors would be calling us wanting to know when their DVD would be there because they'd already purchased it. And I'm talking about like 80% of the purchasers wanted to know where the DVD was.
Okay. So
And
I mean, in 2015, I mean, streaming was there, and I think 20, at least I don't know when it all kind of blurs together, but
streaming
the idea was most
was
people thought
not,
they were buying.
it was not adopted by most pastors and most churches. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
Well, don't you have a DVD? Oh, how you got cassettes? What you got? No, no. And we make it clear the streaming you look on. But anyway, I wanted to do a training that was for leadership in the church at your own pace. That's it.
Hmm.
That'd be cool. Just at your own pace, do it in the church. And I wanted it to be video based. And so I knew that the big itch that needed to be scratched was church revitalization. So I did one on church revitalization. We talked about a four-legged stool. We've changed the legs of the stool at times, but not necessarily the purpose of the legs of the stool. But here, in essence, were the four legs. The first one was always evangelism. Every church has to have evangelism. The second one was expectations. Every church needs to have expectations of its members. It was around this time that I Am a Church Member was taken off, and that's where we did a lot of our expectations through I Am a Church Member. The next one was assimilation in ministry. Get people doing ministry, and they will assimilate into the church. Get them in small groups, they will assimilate into the church. And the fourth leg was prayer.
Hmm.
And we said, if you have these four legs, and again, we've changed the labels just a little bit over the years, but if you have the four legs and work on the health of those four legs, your church should revitalize. The bad news was we had to teach people how to do streaming. The good news was we heard so many stories of churches that actually revitalize just with these basics. No
Yeah.
one had led them to do so. And it told me that we are definitely on to something.
Yeah.
So
And
that's the
with
story behind it.
yeah, when I hear you tell that story, I think about one, your heartbeat is you've always loved the one-on-one. You love to connect. You still do it. I mean, through our platinum group, you do a lot of one-on-one training and a lot of coaching, but you also knew your limitations in that. And so, and I've said it before. I mean, the reason you do all these certifications is because you want to try and get it out as much as possible. You're really trying to create that multiplication effect.
Exactly.
And so that was the starting point, I think, for that some of those videos, this first video. But that four-legged stool, I mean, if you look, I mean, if you've been watching Church Answers over the years, that four-legged stool still remains. I mean, that idea of evangelism, assimilation, the
Expectation
expectation. That's the one I was missing.
and prayer.
And prayer. Those four, they still heavily exist in church answers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been a major piece. Now, you've always, obviously, PhD and, church growth and evangelism. You were the founding dean of the Billy Graham School of Missions, Evangelism, and Church Growth. So you've always had a major, major focus on evangelism. You've always seen the need. And so that's a major piece. I mean, that has fueled a lot of the resources that you've created, even some of the books that you've written. So talk to us a little bit about just how you continue to do your best through Church Answers to equip the church to focus on evangelism.
I am convinced that the greatest level of spiritual warfare taking place in the church today is the distraction from the role of evangelism in the local church. Mm-hmm. So we can talk about all kind of spiritual warfare. We can talk about a lot of things that are hair-raising if you want to. But I think the enemy will do anything to keep our eyes off of evangelism. In many churches, it's busyness of the leaders and it's lack of priorities of evangelism. I'm not telling most leaders something they don't know. They know that there's a Great Commission. They know about Acts 1:8 and Matthew 28. They know these things. But all leaders and Christians need to be constantly reminded that when Jesus left this earth, he said, "You will be my witnesses." Mm-hmm. And that has been the heartbeat. My first book that you failed to mention because you told people that I didn't write it. I edited it, folks. I edited it. I had contributors, and I did write the introduction, so I did write a little bit of part of it. Billy Graham wrote the foreword, so it got a lot more attention than anything I did on that. But it was evangelism in the 21st century. I wrote it in the 20th century. I said, what do we need to know is we're moving into a new century about evangelism. Got some contributors. They wrote some great articles, and ever since then, it has been evangelism, evangelism, evangelism. That's where spiritual warfare is taking place. And again, we talk about our sponsors and we talk about Upward. And I wish I had discovered Upward 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but I have discovered him in the last 5 to 7 years. And you talk about a ministry that is evangelistic, where you get your church members in the community to partner with those community members in different sports. Man, that is not just an evangelistic factor. That is a sticky factor that brings them into the church.
Yeah, that's why, again, we love, if you caught our first episode, we love partnering with other organizations that support, these 4 legs that we mentioned. Upward Sports is one of those partners that we love partnering with. In particular, right now, what they have a focus on is Upward Running for Adults. So if you're thinking like how can you begin to reach your community, man, a great springtime. Hey, New Year's resolutions are going to come around very soon. And so there's people in your church, those people in the community can think about resolutions. They're going to think about exercise. How cool it would be if you go to Upward and say, hey, I need you to help me develop a 5K challenge that we can capitalize in January and February and March for these New Year's resolutions and reach the community. Go talk to them about it. Go to upward.org/runcoach, upward.org/runcoach. It's so simple to start. They just need one passionate leader, no facility. It's amazing how they can use what you have. Don't think you have any limitations, especially for running. You can run lots of places. And so go on the website, get a call with them. Ask them how you can begin to reach your community through running. They got lots of sports, but they really offer this really cool 5K challenge. So check them out. I love that. I love their heart for evangelism and reaching the community. I love Church Answers' heart in reaching the community. I love the fact that we have a community within Church Answers.
And we have different levels of community. We have the core, which includes those who actually have formal membership and silver, gold, and platinum. That's about 2,000 pastor leaders. We have another level that is around 110,000 church leaders and pastors. Most of those represent a different church of 110,000, and they are constantly getting our information, our newsletters, and they're asking for information. And then we have another level of the community of Church Answers, probably around 250,000. It's been a while since we've surveyed that to update it, but somewhere around 250 plus thousand of the 400,000 Protestant churches connect with us one way or another. They may not be on our email list. They may not be in our membership, but they may come in and out for a resource. They may come in and out for an article or paid resource. So when it's all said and done, in the course of a year, about 2/3 of all Protestant churches leaders are connected with us, and it's a great community. I love it. I love the paid membership because it begins at $9.97 a month. That may be a shameless plug, but so be it. It's some of the best value that you can get. And what I love about it more than anything, there's all kind of discounts and resources, but you can ask a question 24/7,
Right.
and a peer's going to answer it. One of our leaders is going to answer it. I'm there answering it. Jess is there. There's so many of us that will be there, and you can just ask any question at any time. And I love that part of that community of Church Answers.
Yeah. I mean, again, this goes back to the very first, again, the first episode or first part that we do in this 2-part series, in your heart for the local church and for the local church pastor. You wanted to create a community where, I mean, pastors feel so lonely. It is, I think it's probably one of the most lonely vocations there are, being a lead pastor. And typically you don't understand it until you are a lead pastor, which again, I think you need to write a book about that. But the idea is that you want to create a place where pastors can come and just speak and ask questions and just sometimes feel like, I'm not crazy. Like it feels like sometimes.
That's what we hear. I thought I was just this weirdo that had problems that nobody else had. Hey, we all do.
Right. And so you created it as a part of helping the local church, and again, the heart of the local church pastor. You create this community, and so that's really, I mean, that's behind the hood of why that exists. And it's so cool to see thousands of people that interact with this. Some are more active than others. Some are lurkers. That's me. I'll chime in every so often. I'm typically more of a reader.
But you're doing a lot of coaching too.
Yeah. I do the one-on-one coaching a lot, but I'm a reader. I'm a lurker in the forum. It's that community. And so we, as a leadership team, love that community. So maybe people listening to this podcast are like, well, who even is a part of the Church Answers team?
The first level is pretty small, and that's been by design. We've expanded it. So let's just think about it for a moment. There's really 5 reigners. You start off with me, Nellie Joe.
Well, we start off with Mom.
I start off with Nellie Joe, then
right.
Thom.
Right.
And then
put the proper order.
And then we'll put the sons in order of preference. So that'd be Art and Sam and Jess. And we so you have the 5 reigners. So we're obviously a family owned company. Then we have, on the administrative side, we have Alana, who is actually recording and doing a lot of work on these podcasts and getting the work done there. So she's the producer right now that is working with us. We have Jana, who is our chief administrative officer. She is our vice president. She's been with us the longest time, other than the Rainers themselves. We have Katie, who is helping in administration as well. We have a team that I would call our consulting team, and it would include the 4 Rainer men. I'll use you this time first, Jess, Art, and Sam, Thom, and then it would include Chuck Lawless, Brad Wagner, and Matt. And Matt McCraw is not only part of the consulting team; he's part of the administrative team too, and he wears a whole lot of hats. And so, have I left anybody out?
Well, there's a lot of other, I mean, I guess contract workers as well. There's
we've got a
ton of those.
Yeah, we outsource so much, but we typically have the same contract worker, and it feels like they're part of the team member, part of the team.
Right. Yeah, and so even beyond that, that team you just named, there's a lot. They work with a lot of outside people to get a lot of the work done, and so when you start adding up the total number of people that are touching some part of Church Answers, it's a lot.
So when this podcast is over, Alana will take the raw material with the notes about any flubs or anything she needs to work on. She'll send it then to a contractor by the name of Wes in Florida, and he'll do the cleaning up, and we'll send it back, and then she'll post it back into our system so that it can be viewed by the audience.
Yeah, so it's a great team. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of people who love what Church Answer's doing, but again, it goes back to, and I hope you hear this, the love for the local church. Everyone that's a part of this team has a love for the local church in some way. In fact, you hear stories often just about the team members and their local church. We talk about our own local churches. That's often a topic of conversation. And so if you're listening to this, I want you to know that everyone who's a part of Church Answers cares about the local church. And so going back to that core vision, that four-legged stool, all those pieces. You even mentioned, this whole idea of church revitalization. We want to continue to do that, and we want to continue to see churches grow and revitalize. And so you're making sure that this gets out to the world. You really want it to go out to the world.
And let me say this before we give our final shout out to Wesley Biblical Seminary. I have been told numerous times that, hey, Thom, you invented the phrase church revitalization. That's not true. I was able to source that, and it goes back to names you probably don't know, so I'm not going to get into that. But somehow I picked up on it. I did not originate it, but somehow I picked up on it. And according to the sourcing I did, Church Answers and I became the megaphone to bring church revitalization to the forefront. Early on, had a podcast with Mark Clifton called Revitalize and Replant. Love doing that. Love doing that. Church Answers podcast replaced that. We thought it was time. My whole purpose was to get Mark introduced to the world, and we were going to do that over 3 years. I think we went 7. We were having so much fun, but that mission was accomplished, and so we're here. So church revitalization, simply help churches get healthy again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And now we're partnering with Wesley and Wesley Seminary. Now we've got a seminary that just gets it with the local church. That's what I love about them.
Yeah, we're super thankful for Wesley Biblical Seminary. Again, another partner with Church Answers and the sponsor of this podcast as well. They are focused on developing trusted leaders for faithful churches. And so if you're interested in a certificate, a bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctoral degree, any one of those, maybe all of them, maybe you're ready to go through the whole gamut. You'd be surprised how affordable and how just easy it is to get plugged in with them. So go check out Wesley Biblical Seminary. You can go to their website at wbs.edu, and just check out just their array of programs that they have. They do have this really good online flexible format. They know you're busy, especially if you're in the local church, and we hope you are in some capacity. You're in the local church, particularly if you're a church leader, church pastor. They know you're busy, but they have a flexible schedule that will help you.
And I'm interrupting you with apologies.
As always,
not really. I always think of the 3 A's when I think of Wesley. They are accessible. You can go anytime you want to. They are attainable. You can get it done very quickly. Not that speed is the ultimate desire, but many educational institutions slow you down just for the sake of slowing you down and getting a little more tuition. And then they're affordable, very affordable. When you add in the Church Answers University supplement to that, it's even more affordable. So they're the 3 A's: accessible, attainable, and affordable.
That's it. Go check them out. We'd love for you to do that. Well, we hope you've enjoyed these past 2 episodes. We've been talking a little bit behind the scenes, under the hood. Again, just reminiscent of my childhood days of my father being under the hood.
Dear, we gotta come back.
Absolutely.
Manual labor is meant to be done by those who can do manual labor.
Mm-hmm. God gave you hands and feet. I think you should use them at some point, Dad. We want to thank you so much for
keyboard.
Thank you for joining us for these past 2 episodes. A little bit different, but kind of cool, just to talk about Church Answers and who we are and what we do. Our whole hope is that we can help you. I know there's a lot of church questions out there. We love to be able to answer those, and so that's why we do what we do. We want to help you in your outreach. We want to help you in your assimilation. We want to help you in your expectations. We want to help you in your prayer. We're going to do everything we can to help equip you to continue to lead the local church and reach people for God's kingdom. It's why we exist. We believe we want to do our part in God's kingdom and help you as a local church leader. So thank you so much for joining us in this past 2 podcasts. We hope you enjoyed it. And as always, we'll see you on the next episode real soon.